The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, everybody, he's a macho. Savage, you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com. The best in the business. So say it, the macho king.
Wrestling fans throughout Radio Land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the Ugandan Giant Kamala. And that's my story.
You can hear words to describe the Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done is by using a screwdriver to cut roast beef. This is Sluneva Sean, the other half of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. That's the trashy one and the loony one together forever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ivan Koloff. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. With the Trash, 7 to 10. Tuesday nights, you got to listen in. It's the best around, the best in town. Alright, hey, this is the Animal. One half of the world famous taking the Road Warriors leading the film. If you know what's good for you, you'll listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. Hulk, what do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio?
Well, I gotta say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch, because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this. When the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio Tuesday night. It's the best night of the week. And we're rocking and rolling here. I'm just kind of a little confused because I've done things differently this week, and I should never do that. And, well, let's see here. Whoop, 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 whoop. There it is. Okay. Whew. All right. Hey, Doug. We're, I got to turn our pictures on. Okay, there we go. We're here. Oh, and look who else is here. Yes, of course you're here for the beginning of the show, because then you get treats at the beginning of the show, too. I know how you work. I know what it's all about. It's all about you. All right, I'm going to give you a big phone, and then I can get on with my life. There. Oh, you're going to snub the bone? Snubbing the bone? She wants her pig ears now, you know.
Yes, pig ears are good.
That's the only thing she wants. Okay, talk, Doug, so I can check to see if your volume is there.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, you're there. Okay,
1,
good.
2,
Just
1,
making
2.
sure you're there. Now, hopefully, you know, I think I'm going to check, since I don't know if any... Oh, hey, there is somebody in the chat room. I just saw them. They appeared. Oh, there's another one. Wait. Oh, come on. Darn it, when I tag people to come in the chat room, it opens up windows and oh, there it is. Marsa's here. How you doing? Okay. All right, we're all here. Good, it's working now. Hey, Marsa, do I sound okay? I just need to ask you because I know you're in the chat room and you can tell me, and I don't have to look then. And let's see, gotta wait, see here. There's that. Okay, there we go. I can hear it now. Maybe if I turn up the volume, I can hear it. Let's see. Oh. Whoop. Now if I wouldn't hit the wrong button, I could hear it just fine. Oh, wait, there's Ann. Hi, Ann. I am trying a different technology this week in hopes that everything will work out. And you know how that is. So I know my sound hasn't been up to par. I'm trying a different technology this week in hopes that everything will work out. Hey, it sounds actually pretty good. It sounds like I can hear myself, and it doesn't sound like it's really bad. Okay. All right, let's get things rolling here. Doug, good to see you.
Yes.
I am. Another week went by. I have all my fingers, so I know I didn't blow any of them up through July 4th. Of course, I never really played with fireworks too much. I learned from my brother's mistake. He blew his hand off, so, you know. And actually, it was weird because when we were kids, we used to shoot bottle rockets at each other. And I always...
The things you do. Right?
Yeah, well, you know, I always shot them away from the people because I didn't want to hit anybody. And I always ducked when they were coming my way. So, you know, it's one of those things. And, you know, I just didn't want to hurt anybody. And, like, the other people, they didn't care if they hurt other people. So, but anyway, tonight we got a lot of weird stuff and some interesting articles and stuff like that, and we'll see how it goes. So we'll see if I'm right about good weird articles, or they could be bad weird articles too. Let's see here. Where are we going? Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see here. Oh, the first one is I put this guy into celebrity status. So. Excuse me if you don't agree with me, but this guy deserves to be in the celebrity status because everyone knows who he is. This is, okay, days later, this article will come up. I love when things don't come up very quickly. Bigfoot. Bigfoot sighting. You know, it's funny, with the technology we have today, we should have so many pictures of Bigfoot, and they should be high-def pictures. And nobody ever gets a good picture of him. I mean, that guy's got to be the most elusive celebrity in the world. So, but that's my first article that I ran into today because, hey, when was the last time you talked about Bigfoot?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I thought he was, you know, retired or anything because you figure he's got to be old. He's got to be like hundreds of years old, or at least his family lineage is up there. So when I saw this, I got all excited because, you know, I haven't seen any kind of Bigfoot articles in so long that, you know, I figured we're not going to see anymore. And then, boom, they did it. They did it for us. So there's a Bigfoot sighting. And, you know, if I was Bigfoot, I wonder if I'd be more offended by being called a Bigfoot or being called a Sasquatch. Why not just a big human? Why not just a human? Oh, he's not really. Well, is he a human? What else could you call him? Just a big guy.
Well, from my perspective, he's a human with a mask on.
Yeah, well, I thought he was Andre the Giant in the $6 Million Man series, which was a good choice because he didn't speak very well in that either. So anyway, let's see what it says. It says here, over the weekend, Louisiana cops responded to a bizarre call from a group of teenagers camping in a national. They actually got I don't know if this is a picture or a painting, but it doesn't look like it's I mean, with today's technology, we should be able to zoom in on him and see every pixel, every hair he has. In her house.
They obviously didn't have an Apple 15.
Yeah, that's exactly, or a 14. Yeah.
Or 14.
Yeah, because my 14 would have done better than that. So I just kind of found that interesting. The Erie incident was shared on Saturday via Facebook post in the, I can't say that word, Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's Office. They revealed a bunch of recent high school grads between 17 and 18 from Houma were spending time in the, why do we have to have these weird Kisatchie National Forest? Bigfoot was playing with my daughter. No. Why does it say Bigfoot? This must be other articles. The account noted that one teen heard a growl and saw what appeared to be an animal that had glowing eyes and stood about 5 feet tall. Well, that's not a very Bigfoot. Bigfoot has got to be 8 feet tall or 7 feet tall at least, not 5 feet tall. Geez, he's smaller than me. In a panic, the camper rang 911 requesting assistance after the unnerving event. If he's afraid of someone that's 5 foot tall, he's a wimp. Jeez.
That's more black bear size.
Yeah. This is, Bigfoot should be really big by now. I mean, geez. What's that say? Oh, Kachaki. Okay, so they're telling me how to pronounce Kachati. So, or a bear. Yeah, my sister said a bear. In my house probably last week, childlike cryptic creatures. See? We're just, I guess it's just beyond our comprehension. All right, let's see here. I forgot to put this on Facebook too, even though it's already on Facebook because, everybody pays attention to everybody's post. But, yeah, I think that's really funny that
it's the same as with aliens. Everybody gets a very lousy picture.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Well, aliens I can understand because they're fast. Some of the things I've seen that come out of those aliens, those guys they move along really quick. So, watch me die of not surprised. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, continue reading. Let's see here. In a panic, the camper ran 911 requesting assistance. Deputies rocked up to find the frightened teens and escorted them out of the woods without harm. Oh, wow. Here we go. We got a little video on it, too.
Sentenced to life in prison.
Okay, let's go back here and see what this is all about. Man kills friend for summoning Bigfoot. Oh.
A lot of details here. The Oklahoma man who claimed his friend tried to have Bigfoot eat him has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
He summoned Bigfoot to eat his friend. That's a good friend there. I mean, geez. Hi. Are you going to help with the conversation? Or you're just going to interrupt the conversation? Yeah, I thought so. I just think it's funny. Okay, so let's see what else we got here.
55-year-old Larry Sanders admitted to killing his friend Jimmy Knighton in 2022. The two were on a noodling trip on the South Canadian River when some kind of confrontation ensued. That's when Sanders began hitting and strangling the victim, saying the victim summoned Bigfoot to attack and kill him, even claiming that he saw a 12-foot tall Bigfoot downstream.
That's funny. So that's how he claims he killed his friend, because his friend summoned Bigfoot to kill him. So that'll stand up in court, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who says Bigfoot also isn't really fast, and he's super shy, and he is indeed the winner of the ultimate hide and seek? Yes. Well, he hangs out, I think, with the aliens. That's probably what it is. So, I don't know. I just think it's funny. And then to tell the cops, the story that I killed him because he summoned Bigfoot, because he summoned Bigfoot to kill me. I don't know.
I wonder we'll never know how he summoned Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because he's not with us any longer.
Yeah, that's a shame. Because he could have helped science.
That's right.
Could have helped science. So.
He could have pulled him out, and then we could get a good picture of him.
Yeah. Darn, he, I don't know, he may have run over it with his car. I had that happen recently. I had, Christine and I came back from, I don't know where we were running errands or something. And she got out of the car and she had all her stuff. And I said, just leave it out. I'll carry it in, because she was like trying to carry everything. And she goes, no, I got it all. And I said, okay, fine. And I went to park the car and I drove over her phone because she dropped her phone under my car and it killed it. A Tesla, Tesla versus iPhone, no contest.
No contest.
The Tesla weighs an awful lot. And so.
How much trouble were you in?
Lots. For 12 hours, I was in the worst of trouble. And I just said, it's only going to be 12 hours. We'll go down to the Xfinity. We'll get you a new phone. I even offered to pay for the new phone. And even though it wasn't technically my fault, because she didn't even know she dropped it. And then she drove over it and she said, you ran over it on purpose. Ran over what? It was horrible because, oh man, that was the worst 12 hours of my life. So actually, technically, it was probably closer to 18 hours, but it was horrible. It seemed like more.
I don't know. 18 hours without my phone seems
I would say that would be quiet. It would be awfully quiet. Not hearing the ding ding, not having to check all your messages. But hey, it is what it is. I said she goes to a lot of extremes to get a new phone. She wanted to have a newer phone than me because I had a 14, now she has a 15. So but
yeah, for a 15 for $1,000, right?
More than that. I think she paid. I think it was $1,200, and I paid like $1,600. But the reason I paid $1,600 is I got a terabyte, so I'm not going to run out.
Okay.
I'm not going to run out of storage anytime soon. Did you buy it? Yes. Well, yes and no. Yes, I bought it. She says she's going to pay me for it. I said she didn't have to pay me for it because it's not worth. It's just. Sometimes it's just better to pay for it and be done with it. And I offered to do that, even though I wasn't guilty as far as I'm concerned. But that's a whole other thing. That's another thing. I don't know if she's in there.
Mike, happy wife, happy life.
That's true. That's true. But technically, she's not my wife. So
well,
those rules
she's
don't
living
apply.
in your house, so I'd say happy girlfriend, happy life.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but she, it happens. Those kind of things happen. It was just unusual. I still think it's really odd that she wanted a new phone, and and I had given her that phone because I had upgraded my phone because I wanted a higher storage capacity, and there was nothing wrong with that phone. And she had a 6, and the 6 didn't have any battery life. Those things, the 6s were horrible. Did you buy? Oh, that's up there. Yeah. Yeah, she had a pretty good phone, and it was funny because it was the front was broken, the back was broken, but the buttons seemed to work, except that apparently one of the buttons didn't work, and it was one of the ones you needed for her passcode. So once we got her locked out, there was no other thing we could do because we couldn't do anything about it. But it's really cool the way that the new iPhones work. You don't have an iPhone, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a 12.
Okay. Well, then you had to do this with your 12 too. That you scan the phone with the other phone, and it brings all your stuff over. Well, it doesn't do that when you have a cracked screen, when you can't use the screen. So I ended up spending money to replace the screen so that she could upgrade her phone quicker. But actually, we didn't have to do that because it was saved in her cloud, I guess, because we had that option, but we didn't figure that out till it was too late. So, yeah, things that you do. Let's see here.
For love, Mike, for love.
That's exactly. For love or money. For love and money. For love and something. Anyway.
Love and peace.
Peace. That's a good word. That's a very good word. Here is the picture of the day. Trash Talking Radio on top of a building. That's the building we broadcast from.
Yes, and I noticed no antennas, so must be internet.
It is internet. Yes, it's high def, and
High def.
and you see my helicopter pad there too. I think that's what it is. But anyway, by the way, this is our anniversary. I know you haven't.
That's right.
You haven't been around as long as the show, but this is the 21st year. So, yeah, it's kind of exciting. Also, we have I need to talk about this after the show. We have an opportunity to make a bit of money. And that always intrigues people. So I haven't investigated it total yet, but there's an offer on the table right now for making money. So I needed to talk to you, but I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to do it. I haven't had a chance to read the contract either. So we'll see. We'll see how real.
Yes, read the contract.
Yes. Well, maybe I'll send you a copy of it so you can look at it too. But it could theoretically make money. So, okay, so Bigfoot is done. Okay, what's the next one I got on here? Oh, so this weekend was a couple wrestling events, but the reason I'm bringing it up is somebody cut a promo on Hulk Hogan. And it was kind of funny because even if you're not a wrestling fan, which you said you started watching wrestling, so you should like this promo. Here it goes, hopefully. Oh, that's right, this is Twitter, so I'm going to have to turn it on. Okay. This kid, okay, so he's in Hogan's, Hogan has a store called Hogan's, it's not Hogan's Swim, it's Hogan's something. Anyway, this kid's walking into this, into the Hogan store, and Hogan's there. So he cuts a promo on Hogan. Okay.
Knows, brother. No, let me tell you something, brother. When you walk in this beat shop, I'm surprised that you still got the shirt on, Jack.
Let me tell you something. Oh, sure. The first time I met you, I was only 3 years old, and now I'm 6 years old. So now we gotta take it to a bigger level, man. Just like when you put that no good stinky giant over your head and send them right through the cannon in front of 93,000 Hulkamaniacs. So what are they gonna do when the power of the Hulkster and the Roadster and the dual 24-inch Python run wild on you?
That to me was so funny because a kid 6 to cut a promo like that. He cut it so smooth. He was like a professional, you know. What you gonna do? Oh man! First time he met him was when he was 3. I would have said, "What took you so long to get here?" Oh man, that was funny. See what else I got here. Oh, yeah, kind of cut that loose. So that's the kid's promo. He cuts a better promo than half the than the majority of the wrestlers. This is another wrestling thing, and I don't know how far back you go, but there was a guy named Kevin Sullivan. He was pretty big in the other territories. He never really worked WWE or WWF that much, but he was pretty instrumental in WCW, ECW, a lot of the Florida promotions. He actually had, it says here, the Taskmaster needs your help. Wrestling legend Kevin Sullivan is facing a critical medical emergency and financial crisis. On May 12th, while in Florida for autograph signings, Kevin suffered a devastating accident. He underwent emergency surgery, saved his leg, and life, but faced complications including sepsis and encephalitis. The unforeseen catastrophe has placed his immense financial burden on his family, as Kevin has been in and out of consciousness and in the ICU, far from home. Despite these challenges, Kevin has shown incredible resilience. Months later, he's still fighting again for his independence. And even with his insurance, he has a really good insurance plan. Even with his good insurance plan, the coverage is nearly exhausted due to the length of stay. Kevin's illustrious career in wrestling spans 6 decades, 60 years.
60 years.
He's really, he was on this show back in probably around 2008, 2009. I always liked him. He had this, he did a satanic gimmick. I didn't like that gimmick, but I liked his crazy gimmick. And he had a movie called the Tree of Woe. I used to drive my wife crazy because when we went to Disney, they had the Tree of Life, and every time we walked by the Tree of Life, I said, "Look, it's the Tree of Woe," and she she didn't find it as amusing as I did. But anyway, it says here he thrived championship wrestling from Florida, collaborating with legends like Mike Graham and Eddie Graham. Mike continued to impact the wrestling world with WCW and various speaking engagements, including Vice TV's Tales of the Territories and his weekly show on Conrad Thompson's network, Tuesday with the Taskmaster. So he got a GoFundMe. I kind of want to let people know the GoFundMe because he needs to get situated. They raised $47,000 on a $20,000 goal, but we all know how that goes. I mean, you never know what. Wow.
You don't know what's coming in.
Wow, Tony Khan of AEW gave him $10,000. That's insane. That's really good. My thumbs up to him. Yeah, I mean, the guy's a really intellectual man. He changed the wrestling world in a lot of ways. Mostly good. There were some not so good, but his wife was a woman who was a big name in the wrestling business for a while. And she got killed by Chris Benoit when he went on his Chris Benoit ended up marrying her, but he ended up killing her. But I mean, I think Kevin Sullivan is truly a legend in the business. So let's see. Oh, here's something from yesterday. Just wanted to share a photo from the weekend. We were able to go outside for a short period, and I'm trying my best to make this his daily routine. Thanks for all the support. He owned a gym in Florida. He owned actually a couple of gyms called Froggies. The reason I know that is when I interviewed him, we were talking about that. But if anybody wants to contribute, you can always contribute. There's I'm going to share this on my Twitter and my Facebook, and feel free to, donate, because, he entertained all of us, I'm sure. I mean, if you were a wrestling fan, chances are you saw some of his work somewhere. But I would like to see, something happen where he's going to be okay. He's got to be in his 70s, I'm thinking, because he was wrestling. Man, he was wrestling when I was a kid.
Well, if he's been in it 6 decades,
yeah, oh yeah,
he didn't start at 10 years old.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. Yeah, if you put it in those terms. Yeah, I always liked him though.
I'd say he's in his 80s.
He's got to be, because I didn't even think of that. We'll look it up and we'll find out. That's my next goal here. I just want to put it on Twitter or X, so that people can do that. They can contribute if they wish. But yeah, I really I found him very interesting to talk to. All right, there we go. So let's see how old he is. Well, it says 74. So if he's 74, that means he started at 16. No, it means he started at 14. Back then, you never know, because a lot of people got in early. That's what it says, 74. Wow. Oh, he's only 5'9". Yeah. Jeez. That's crazy. He was really cool though. I liked him when he was wherever he was always controversial. And he was a short guy. He definitely, I didn't realize he was 5'9" though. So anyway, that's people want to contribute. There's your chance to help someone in need. All right, next. So Paramount has been sold. Do you know Paramount Pictures?
Yeah.
They are now part of Skydance. Skydance. There's a lot of controversy there, but apparently so it says Dave Ellison will be the CEO of the company with Jeff Shell to serve as president when the deal closes. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes. They'll be doing less movies, though. I'm thinking.
Paramount, that includes the streaming service?
Yes. Yeah, I would imagine that that's probably why Skydance wanted them. Said in a landmark deal that will shake up the entertainment landscape, Sherry Redstone has agreed to sell her control of Paramount Global to the consortium led by Skydance, the production company helmed by David Ellison and Jerry Cardinal's Redbird Capital. The sale, assuming it is approved, which it was approved, I believe, by regulators and completed, and assuming a better bid does not emerge, we'll see Skydance acquire Redstone's majority stake in the National Amusements, which will in turn secure control of Paramount, the owner of Paramount Film and TV Studios, and that's Paramount Plus, CBS, and cable channels like Nickelodeon, MTV, and Comedy Central, which I think we talked about, unless I have it for this week. One of these 2 weeks, I don't know if I talked about it last week about MTV and Nickelodeon and all that. There was something controversial happening with that stuff. So this is the reason that all happened. So it's really, what it means is, though, that Paramount probably won't be making as many movies. Between Skydance and Paramount, they probably will not be releasing as much material because of the size of the deal and stuff. So we'll see what happens. It's interesting, though.
I hope it doesn't affect Star Trek.
That is a CBS. Yeah, that is a CBS thing. Do they have new products now?
Yeah, they have a brand new show, and they're coming out with another one. The one they have is Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Oh, I like that one. I saw that one. That one's. I'm not. There were 2 seasons so far, at least. Well, there might be 3 now.
There are 2 seasons. They approved the 4th.
And I haven't seen the 2. I'm still on season 1, but I like that show. I just haven't had a chance to to keep up with it. But I like the way that they went back in time. It's funny how they go back in time and the ships get better.
Yes.
But
more technology.
I like Pike. I like the Spock. I forget who else they had in there, but I like the way that they wrapped the characters around the new series. So that was pretty cool.
And they're coming out with Starfleet Academy.
Oh.
That's going to come out in 2025, I believe.
I would probably be interested in that. It depends what they're going to do, if they're going to go backwards or forwards. So, yeah. That would be interesting to see how they do that. All right, so There was a couple deaths. I did not do RIPs on them because they came in. The one just died yesterday, and there was another one that died too, just today, I think it was. So I might do something for him next week. John Landau is one of the people that died, and he, let's see, where's the, he had something to do with, shoot, I can't remember what he did. Hold on, let me check and see what he did, because he did a whole bunch of big stuff too. Here we go. He's the Oscar-winning producer who made James Cameron's stuff come to life by overcoming extreme logistical challenges to bring the filmmaker's Titanic and Avatar blockbusters to the big screen. He was 63. So he had a 16.
Well, from my perspective, that's really young.
Yeah, he had a 16-month battle with cancer. So he's the son of producers. His father was an Oscar nominee. The Passionate Landau produced films including Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Dick Tracy, before spending 5 years as an executive at Fox, where he oversaw productions of Die Hard 2, Last of the Mohicans, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Cameron's True Lies. So I may end up doing something for him next week that I can sit down and put a little obituary together. By the way, speaking of obituaries, people do read, actually watch them on YouTube. When I break them out, I get these comments on different things. The latest comment that I made, that I had on it was that it's funny how people always seem to find the mistakes I make if I make a mistake. But the one was on, I missed a kid. It was, I got to see which one it was, but I was like, hey, I said my research people didn't catch that one. I apologize for that. That was in, which one was that? That was, it was Martin Mall? I think it was Martin Mall, where they were saying, yeah, that's the one, 2 comments. They said, saw him in, wait, that's not it. Oh, that's not the one. Maybe that's not the one. Which one was it? It was a new one. Might have been, no, it wasn't Sutherland, because I believe I caught all Sutherland's kids. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that's the one. Let me see. Oh, wait, here's the comment. I'll just push the comment button. That'll be it. That'll tell me. Oh, Donald Sutherland. Maybe that was the one. One's in French, so I don't even know what she said. I think it has something to do with immortal, because it says Vivera Immortal. But there was one in here that said that I missed 2 children. So, or I missed one child. It was one child. But I get comments from Uruguay, France.
Your research staff should be severely disciplined.
Yeah, they probably. I'm not going to pay them that week. That'll teach them. So, but yeah, at least I know people are watching them, and it's fun to watch the amount of people that look at this and seeing that the analytics, we're getting a lot more analytics than we've ever gotten since I started doing those. So 18 hours of people watching it, and so it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. So, and every once in a while I get threatened because I broke some law or some kind of fourth wall or something. But it is what it is.
You live dangerously, Mike.
I live on the edge. I'm on the edge. Oh, here it is. Here it is. He had 5 sons. It's Christopher, John, Brendan, Tim, Andrew, and plus a daughter, China. That says, I hate it when his stats are told wrong. And that was for David Soul. So that's, I just, I should have said, we fired that person. We fired the person that hired them, so we don't have any. Oh, man. That's what happens when you use AI, though. It doesn't always give you the right information. So, all right, next one. Oh, this was interesting. Hollywood donors are no longer supporting Biden.
Yes.
That is interesting to me.
The money has dried up.
Yeah. I can't say I'm surprised, but the people were really, I mean, really, if you think about it, Biden doesn't do anything except be a figurehead. He's got people that do it for him. So, you know, I don't like the fact that he didn't sound good. And I don't like the fact that he lied about a lot of things, but Trump lied about a lot of things too. So, but, you know, some of the people in Hollywood, they're really upset about it. Here we're talking about his top donors are Hollywood's top donors are increasingly recoiling from Joe Biden's re-election campaign in the wake of last week's debate. James Hibbard runs through influential celebrity Democrat donors with deep pockets who are calling Biden to drop out of the race. Plus, a few major celebrity supporters have stayed quiet since the debate. So, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. 5 Hollywood donors.
He sent a threatening letter to the House Democrats.
Okay.
He is angry.
Oh, well, yeah, because I actually have something in here about that too. But it says here the top donors are increasingly recoiling, and let's see, I think it says here some of the Reed Hastings, Netflix co-founder, told the New York Times Biden needs to step aside to allow a vigorous Democratic leader to beat Trump and keep us safe and prosperous. Hastings and his wife Patty Quillen have reportedly donated more than $20 million to the Democratic Party over the last years. What's it like to be able to donate that kind of money? You know, I can't imagine. Just, you know, Barry Diller, the media mogul seeking to take control of Paramount, with a simple no, when asked by Ankler whether he and his wife Diane were supporting Biden. Diller reportedly gave $100,000 to the president and the Democratic Party in 2023. Abigail Disney, the millionaire Disney heiress and activist, said she's holding all donations to the Democratic Party until they replace Biden on the ticket. Biden is a good man and has served his country, but the stakes are far too high. If Biden does not step down, the Democrats will lose. I think if Biden steps down, the Democrats lose anyway.
Yeah, because Kamala is going to be the one that replaces him.
Right, and that's just,
She's got worse numbers than Biden.
Yeah, and it's not that, you know, I have a problem with a woman or a black woman for that matter, but I don't know enough about her to really, she's kept quiet.
Well, it would be nice to have a black woman as president. I mean, we've never had a woman president. It would be nice.
Yeah.
But most people don't think she's up to the job yet.
Right. I don't know. How old is she? In her 40s?
She's in her 50s.
50s? Really?
She's in her mid-50s.
I mean,
compared to the two that are running, that's quite young.
Do you have any idea who would be good in the Democrats?
Well, Newsom, he's young and dynamic.
Yeah,
but he has run California into a ditch.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. Plus,
Cuomo would be good. He's dynamic, young, dynamic, but he had that scandal.
Mm-hmm. I guess
they don't have a deep bench.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know who they would get. I think they're going to. I don't know. I just don't even know, because there's nobody that stands out, and that's the problem. Again, it comes to, it's a popularity contest, not who's qualified. It's obvious by who's running.
And what the Democrats are running on is that Trump is a dictator, Nazi.
Yeah, I've
he's going to
seen
destroy
that
the country
over and over again. It's crazy. I mean, I think that the problem is that he doesn't know when to shut up, and he says
his
things.
problem.
And he says things that maybe he doesn't mean, but he sensationalized his things, and I don't know. I just don't know.
See, his base loves it, but independents and moderate Republicans don't love it.
Right.
And he's got to win moderate Republicans and independents. That's who he has to win.
Yeah. Ari Emanuel says here, the Endeavor CEO and prolific Democratic donator blasted Biden into Democrats. Jeffrey Katzenberg, the mogul, is taking a very active role. He raised $30 million over the past year, publicly and privately. Steven Spielberg has stepped away. Jimmy Kimmel, who, really attacked Trump more than anything for a long time. He gets he gets paid to yell at Trump, but now he's pulling away from the Democrats. George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Those are just some of the people that are backing away, and I just, I think that the problem is now his pride, I think, is the biggest thing, and
his ego.
Yeah,
his ego, and his wife.
Yeah, well,
his wife loves the White House.
Yeah, well,
and she's really acting as president.
Right. I don't doubt that. It's kind of scary, though. It's scary. We're in a weird time, and I don't know what. I don't know. It's going to work out the way it's going to work out, and there's not anything we can do about it.
Do you want a president that's only sharp between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon?
Well, I mean, depends what he gets his work done.
His own campaign put that out.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, if you get right down to it, how much does he need to be? He's just a figurehead, and that's the way it's always been. I mean, it's we don't have leaders like, I don't know. I think probably Ronald Reagan was a real leader.
Well, Reagan had dementia in the last couple of years of his presidency.
And he still did better than both of these guys.
Here's the thing, Mike. Trump should be winning by 10 points.
Okay. And
he should be just running away with this thing, and he's not.
And the thing is, that's because he won't shut up.
That's right.
All he's got to do, I mean, this is like the easiest win if he were just to shut up, and he just doesn't seem to want to do that. And he's his own worst enemy. So, I don't know.
Unforced errors, they call it.
Rob Reiner's stepped away. Let's see here. It says, if the convicted felon wins, we lose our democracy. Joe Biden has effectively served the U.S. with honor, decency, and dignity. It's time for Joe Biden to step aside. All these people are just upset, and I would be too. I mean, if that was and what is my president? He's our president, whether we like it or not. And I don't know. I think people say that it's been better in the past couple of years. I don't see it that way. I don't see that. I see that it's been a worse situation for us overall. But, what do I know? I'm just a talk show host.
Well, Hillary Clinton made this really famous, but that 3 a.m. wake-up call, Biden is not going to be in shape to make those major decisions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'd actually rather have Hillary at this point. But that's even scary. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. It's such a, and everybody's leaning one way or the other, real far. Nobody's in the middle. I mean, I'm seeing all these people. I mean, there's a couple people in the middle. There are people that are friends of mine are in the middle, but it seems that you're either really, really pro-Biden or really, really, really pro-Trump. It doesn't seem like there's any middle ground anymore. And I think that everybody needs to really take a look at both people and decide that maybe we need to look in a different direction.
Well, I think I said last week, I don't like the extremes.
Yeah, and they are both extremes.
I don't like the extremes.
They're very extreme, and they couldn't be further from each other. All right. Let's see. What do we got now? Okay. Despicable 4 rules the July 4th weekend. So it looks like Disney's making a comeback.
Yes, Despicable 4 should make money.
Yeah, it made $122 million, and
okay.
That's right in line with what I would love to. That's the kind of stuff they used to do back in the old days. Back when I used to go to the movies, and I used to go see every movie out there. And the other person who died was Judy Belushi, John Belushi's wife. She was 73.
Oh.
Yeah, she just died too. So
that was a sad death. I love Belushi.
Everybody loved Belushi except Belushi. It was he was a time bomb. I mean, the amount of there was a movie called Belushi. Did you ever see it?
No, I did not.
It was heavy. It was pretty heavy. It showed that he was destined to die because he just did so much drugs, so many drugs. And he was, there was no way. I mean, that time of the 70s going into the 80s, it was some pretty heavy narcotics going around. So, yeah, he is just another tragedy, another.
Did he die of a heart attack or an overdose?
I believe it was an overdose.
Okay.
I think he joined the club of Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix, and that's a club I don't necessarily want to join. There's not much benefits in that club. So anyway, Despicable 4. Anyway, it did $122 million. Let's see, here we go. Yeah, here it is. Let's see, it says Maxine scares up 6.7 million. I don't even know what Maxine is. The only one I knew about was Despicable. Did you see all the Despicable Me's?
I've seen, yes.
Even when he was a young kid? I like that one. That was funny. But yeah, I like his movies. They're silly and they're just funny. It says here, Illumination and Universal's Minions franchise isn't getting any worse for wear, as Despicable Me 4 ruled the 4th of July box office with an estimated 5-day domestic of 122.6 from 4,400 theaters, including a 3-day weekend haul of 75 million, earning a stellar A cinema score. That's in line with expectations, with a strong start of 4th of July in the main franchise, and the 6th in the Despicable Me Minions series. And overseas, the movie cleared 230 million. That's pretty good. It said the first Despicable Me opened in 2010 to 56 million. The second Despicable Me opened July 3rd. Doesn't say what year. 2013. Yeah. Despicable Me opened July 3rd, Wednesday, and it opened to 143 million. And that was followed by a 5-day, 120 million for the third one. So that's I think it's respectable. It's right in line with what it was doing before. So let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else in there I need to know. Yeah, the movie is the second back-to-back win for the animated family marketplace after Pixar and Disney's Inside Out 2 finally fell to number 2. It fell to number 2 after all these weeks, and I think that one was still did 30. Yeah, it still did 30 million. That did a domestic gross of 533 million over the last couple weeks. So that's pretty good, and I think it's going to hit $1 billion. It's the third best showing ever of an animated film in North America. So, yeah, that'll be pretty good. Quiet Place Day One, which is the new Quiet Place, but it's a prequel. That did 21 million, and Maxine, I don't even know what that is. Maxine was placed fourth with an estimated 6.7 million in 2,400 theaters. Oh, it's a slasher pick. Okay. And Bad Boys Ride or Die took fifth with a 6.6, but that did really good. I think last week it did really good because that's at 177 million. So that's, you know, it's a shame that more movies aren't doing that well, but at least those are doing decent. So, okay. Copy that. I miss going to the movies all the time. Right now I'm so busy I don't get to do it anymore. My next big thing is, if everything goes well, I'll be going to San Diego in a couple of weeks. Or no, I'll be going to Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. So, that'll be fun.
It's 120 out there.
Yeah,
right
well, you know.
But it's a dry heat.
Yeah, I didn't say I was going to enjoy it. I just said I was going out there. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, that's what I want. This one here. So I need this one. Gotta get this and this. I put that stupid
Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down.
Okay, I will. Let's see.
She's staring at me crying, so.
Ah, I can relate to that. Mine went away. I don't know where mine went. She was definitely being a pain early. She started early, though. I gave her a couple bones, and hopefully she'll stay away for a little while. All right, there we go. All right, now we'll just put it in here, and we'll go on. The next one. Yeah, we vaguely talked about this one a couple weeks ago, but Baldwin's back in the news, and they actually they're picking the jury. He still says he didn't pull the trigger, and I'm sorry, that doesn't happen just because you don't pull the trigger. It just, you know, I don't know how he's going to.
A gun can't shoot without pulling the trigger.
All right, here we go. Now let's see. There we go. It says, as Alec Baldwin heads to trial, Dueling Rust documentaries are become part of a tangled drama. I mean, the bottom line is, there's a dead person, and that's not going to go away. And you know, it's a shame that he won't. He should, you know, put some kind of offer together. You know, cut him off at the, you know, if he were to admit that this happened, I mean, I'm sure that would be making it easier on him, rather than denying that he was part of the problem. It says,
I don't know what's going to happen, but he has to have some culpability in this.
Yeah, he was a producer too, and it's his movie. He's going to get some kind of trouble. I don't really know if they would throw him in jail or not, but
well, probably not. But because the real culprit is in jail.
Yes.
That's the armor.
Yeah.
The armor.
Yeah.
He should have never had live rounds.
And they had problems with this woman before this film, and it's really a shame. Anyway, among the many people who will be closely watching Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial when it begins in Santa Fe this week are two sets of documentarians covering parallel and potentially competing stories from the movie Rust. Both sets of filmmakers have also become part of the still unfolding tragedy of the indie Western set where Alex Baldwin shot 42-year-old cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Rachel Mason, director of the 2019 Netflix documentary Circus of Books, and a close friend of Hutchins, has been making a film about the cinematographer since Hutchins' widower Matthew Hutchins recruited her, and producer Julie Metz for the task in 2021. Wow, that's been that many years.
It takes a long time in the justice system.
Jeez. Yeah, that's really strange. Let's see, Metz and Mason, who are shooting the film for Liz Garbus and Dan Cogan's production company, Story Syndicate, have interviewed members of the Rust cast and crew, including director Joel Souza and cinematographer Bianca Klein, who joined the film to replace Hutchins when Rust resumed production in Montana in the spring of 2023. It's just really, it should have never happened. It's so strange, and the fact is that he just kept, he was trying to figure out how to do that thing with a live gun, where he does this thing and the chamber flies back in, and I don't know.
All right. When you take a weapon from somebody else, you're responsible for what's inside those chambers.
Yep. So yeah, unfortunately,
he has the obligation to open up that chamber and look and see what's in there.
I took armory weaponry 2 years ago in Atlanta with the guy who did Walking Dead. He was the armor from there, and he showed us what the procedure is. It was right after this happened. He showed us the procedure that you're supposed to do when you have a gun handed to you. And you aren't ever supposed to have live ammunition as the actor. The live actors do not get live ammunition. They're done by stunt people. So it was really strange that even had live ammunition in it. But again, like you said, it's Baldwin's duty to check that out before he does anything with it. I would never, ever, ever want to play.
He trusted the armor.
Right.
When you're handling a weapon, you don't trust anybody else.
That's correct. Or something's going to happen like what happened, unfortunately.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really a shame because this is something that could have been avoided if they just did what they were supposed to do. And sadly, the person who lost in the whole thing is not with us anymore, and they can't fix it. There's no way to fix it. No amount of money is going to fix that. So, yeah, it's just a shame.
My guess is that he'll be found guilty and get the minimum sentence,
and which
will probably will not be jail time.
Yeah, and he'll probably be he'll be fined and pay it off, and everybody will be happy. And well, no, not everyone. I mean, obviously the the people that
The family and the widow's
yeah,
not
they're
going to
never
be
going to be
happy.
happy because, you know, they lost their, you know, the person that this is all about. So I feel bad. It's one of those things that shouldn't have happened. And if all the people did what they were supposed to do, it would have never happened.
See, they were shooting cans. They were actually shooting those weapons.
Yeah.
With live ammo. There should not have been live ammo on that set.
That's correct. It's a shame because if they had followed the rules, this would have never happened, and they didn't, and that's the sad part about it. So I don't know. It's if they teach people the right way to do things, they should bring this up as this is the wrong way to do it.
I have a feeling armor classes and gun classes, gun safety classes, that comes up.
I'm sure. Yeah, because that's going to be a this is what you don't do. I don't know, but it's common sense too, and it just that's probably the reason. It's common sense. People don't pay attention to common sense. Anyway, all right. So next we got. Oh, this is cool. What do you know about Lilith Fair?
What?
Lilith Fair.
Don't know.
Huh?
Never heard of it.
Really?
Her?
Yeah. You never? Oh, okay. I think it. I want to remember. I want to say that it started. I believe it started like in the 80s, and it's an all-woman event, women musicians. The Lilith.
Oh, women musicians. Okay.
Anyway, they're having another one. Sarah McLachlan, Sheryl Crow, Bonnie Raitt. I don't know who that is. Erykah Badu, headline Lilith Fair documentary. But Dan Levy, who is what was the name of the show that they? Oh, Schitt's Creek. He was the son in Schitt's Creek, and he actually is Martin Levy. Was it Martin Levy? From Saturday Night Live for a while, and Second City and all that. It's his son. And White House Pictures are behind the CBC film about the 1990s groundbreaking music festival that put women first and performing back-to-back on concert in a male-dominated pop industry. So the Lilith Fair is all women musicians, and it was groundbreaking and, kind of neat. And Sarah McLachlan is one of the people that headed that thing. But they're making a documentary about it. So that's kind of cool. See here. The original ladies' first Lilith Fair tour. Oh, okay. This is a lot later than I thought. 97 to 99 attracted artists like Crow, Tracy Chapman, Fiona Apple, Liz Phair from across the world, and helped launch the career of Missy Elliott, the Chicks, Nelly Furtado, Christina Aguilera. It's kind of cool.
Is this an invite-only affair?
No, you got to pay ticket prices, but I mean, it was a pretty big, has been a pretty big thing since then. I don't know why I thought it was older than that, because it's saying the tour was from 99 or 97 to 99. Wait a minute, does that mean that they're not anymore? Hold on here. Oh, I thought it was still going on. Huh. Kicked off July 5th, 1997. And, oh, okay. It says the original Ladies First Lilith Fair tour from 97 to 99 attracted those artists. I'm trying to decide if it's still going on. Sounds like it isn't. Oh, wait, here we go. The CBC will premiere the feature Lilith Fair during the 2025 to 2026 season, and sales agent White Horse Pictures is shopping the film internationally. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting film. I wonder how many of the original people will get to play in it. If they'll end up bringing some people back, or if they're just going to have all new women. But I think it's neat. And I had a lot of friends back then that went to that stuff. Or, you know, I didn't go to too many concerts back then. But I thought that was a lot earlier. For some reason, I thought it was the 80s. That shows how good my memory is. Maybe I shouldn't be president either. So, actually, the problem with me is I just have a bad memory. Let's see here.
I don't have dementia, but I have old age memory.
Yeah.
I can walk into a room and not remember why I came in.
I've done that. I have a problem with, my biggest issue is that, trying to remember lyrics and parts for, I did 4 auditions this weekend, and it's funny, one of them was a long monologue I had to do. And so I did it, I don't know, it took me about probably 20 minutes to do it without screwing it up. And I went to edit, or to enter it to where it needs to go. And then I found out that that was just a voiceover. So I could have done that in about 10 minutes then, because you could piece it together then, just do small clips. I thought it had to be, I didn't realize it was a voiceover. But dummy me. But, it's easy to take it from that thing and just delete the video off of it. But it was just funny because I spent so much time on that, and then I didn't have to do it that way anyway. But I may play a couple of them today. I've got I still have 6 from before. So, I had a whole bunch of them though. I had some pretty interesting ones. I played a redneck guy. I played that was a stretch for me. My family probably could have done it better than me. I don't use words like ain't and stuff like that. But you have to do what you got to do when you're in the business, or barely in the business. But yeah, I've got.
Did you watch Jeff Foxworthy get in character?
No. What's that? Where's that?
Well, Jeff Foxworthy has skits about rednecks.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. All right, yeah. I've done those. Yeah, those are cool. See, I'm never a redneck according to him, because I would never do those things. Yeah, all right, now, what's next? We got, okay, get rid of this one. Another one, going back to Biden. Here's Jon Stewart slams Biden's blatant bull crap, suggests a new path forward. And it says here, criticizes the White House post-debate spin, get on board or shut the F up. It's not compelling. It's not a good bumper sticker. So, and Jon Stewart is not a pro-Trump guy either. So it's interesting.
Well, most of these people that are calling for his stepping aside are not. They're worried about him not being able to beat Trump.
Right. Yeah.
They're scared to death that Biden's not going to win.
Right. But the thing
is,
is,
they're going to suffer 4 years under Trump.
But we're going to suffer 4 years under Trump either way, I think, because it's a little late to change your horse, They should have thought of this ahead of time, and
there are legal problems too about the money and the delegates.
Okay.
I don't exactly understand what the money issue is, but that war chest just can't be given to another person.
Okay.
Because it was given to Biden. And there's IRS stipulations. It's a little tricky. It can be done, but it's a little tricky. I mean, Biden has to be fully on board for it to happen.
I'll tell you what, the next couple...
and he doesn't sound like he's fully on board.
Oh, he's definitely not on board. I think, again, it's the pride thing. I don't think he is... He doesn't want to go down as the president that was thought unfit. You know, I'm thinking that's probably the case, but I don't know. I just don't know what... There's not a lot of... The problem is, if he stays, he's probably not going to win. If he goes, they're probably not going to win.
Well, Trump has another how many months to screw it up?
Well, yeah, he's got... If he just would keep his mouth shut, chances of that happening are very little. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I wish there was just another alternative. That would be my choice, is another alternative, but we're not going to have that. So let's see, that's Alec Baldwin. We did that one. Okay. All right. And all right. Now, do I got any more in the entertainment? I think I got all entertainment taken care of. Get rid of that. What was this? Oh, okay. Oh, this was interesting. There was a pay-per-view this weekend, unless you had Peacock, then it was a free thing. John Cena says he's retiring from pro wrestling at the end of 2025. And, I mean, he's got to be in his 40s now. And I can understand his feeling about, you can't keep doing it because it's just, you're too old. I mean, believe me, I felt that a couple times when I got done with my wrestling match. What was it, 2 weeks ago? I felt it for a couple days. It just doesn't. You can't just step in and do it anymore. I mean, he's.
Do you know what CTE is?
Yes.
Yeah. Do wrestlers?
Yes. Chris Benoit.
Suffer from that?
Do you remember Chris Benoit?
What?
Chris Benoit.
Yes.
He suffered from that. He used to do these headbutts off the top rope, and he got messed up from it, and he killed his family because of it. You know.
That's right.
Him, a lot of wrestlers, actually, a lot of the ECW guys that I knew died of CTE. They died of killing themselves eventually. Bam Bam Bigelow killed himself in Florida. Bam Bam Bigelow was big for doing a headbutt off the top rope. There's people like Axel, not Axel. Yeah, Balls Mahoney was one of them. He killed himself. He had major CTE. Axel Rotten is one. These guys that do the hardcore matches especially are the ones that suffer. That's why I really try to stay away from hardcore matches. I hate to see guys do that stuff, because when I was in the business regularly, we were seeing people hitting with chairs all the time, and these guys wouldn't. The big thing was back in the early 2000s or the late 90s, when you were going to get a chair shot, if you put your hands up to block it, you were belittled about that. You know, you should take the chair shot. Well, those are the people that are all suffering from CTE. It's real. It's a real thing, and a lot of people, especially in the wrestling business then, and they wouldn't make them sit out if they had a concussion. Now they make them sit out and they have to be cleared before they can come back. They didn't have that before. But because so many people suffered from the CTE, hi Jen, because of that, it's caused them to try to be healthier with their choices. And now people are putting their hands up again like they should have back then. You still got concussions. You still have people that even do things wrong. Like the one time I didn't have a concussion, but the one time I could have got a concussion, I took a back bump, and I hit a chair. When I fell backwards, I just misjudged where I was falling, and I was catching somebody when they were coming out. And when I caught them, I fell back and I hit the leg of a chair. It gave me a stroke. So that was in 2012. So those things are real, and those things, they pay a little more. Well, the problem is the independents, you don't have that issue, or you don't have that safety factor. Like if you go to New Jersey, there's no laws that tell you, like for instance, if you have a promotion in Pennsylvania, you have to have a doctor at ringside legally. If you don't have a doctor, you could be in trouble. If you don't have a license and insurance and all that stuff, you can get in trouble. In New Jersey, anything goes. So a lot of the promotions that have hardcore are in New Jersey because they don't have to have a doctor or anything. So they could really, some of the stuff that CZW does and ECW did were these really brutal hardcore matches. And if you get any tapes of it or any videos of it, it's scary to watch. Those people are insane. And they think that's going to, get them noticed. No, I don't think it's really anything that I would be proud of if I were them, because you're going to shorten your career, probably shorten your life. So, like I said, a lot of my friends, I unfortunately, I lost a lot of friends that suffered, and sadly, the legacy that they leave behind, many times they're called animals and called, murderers and all that stuff, when the real reason was the CTE. And so it's sad, but, they're never going to really be diagnosed the right way, because a lot of them, like I said, people don't even know it. One of the wrestlers left WWE in the 90s and started a CTE clinic, and that was pretty cool that they actually did that, because that's what got the ball rolling. That he actually got the ball rolling on people thinking about things about CTE. He actually suffered from a couple trauma, couple bad hits and stuff, and it's a scary thing, because a lot of people didn't realize that was going on. And if you ever saw the Will Smith movie, where he was the doctor that found what CTE was, and NFL denied it, and now the NFL actually admits this is going on and has things set inside to try to help people that are in that chance of being that. Now, did John Cena is John Cena of CTE? Probably not. He's in Hollywood. He's making all kinds of money in Hollywood, and he's made his money in WWE. He had some good years when they were making so much money. He was in the middle of all that. So he made a lot of money, and they're working on his second. I don't know if you ever saw. He has the Peacemaker is on Cinemax, I think it is, or Max or whatever. He had the first season went really well, and they renewed him for a second season. So that's a really bad superhero movie. It's a funny superhero movie. It's supposed to be bad. He has his right hand man is an eagle, and the eagle's name is Eagly. And it's really, I like Eagly. Eagly is the best part of that whole thing, but it's really a good show, and he got renewed for another season. So his thing is, it's like The Rock. The Rock's 50 years old now, and he's still bigger than most of the wrestlers, because he makes appearances, and now he owns a big piece of the WWE anyway now, because they paid him to come back with shares of the company, and so he's part of Endeavor now. And also he owns what football league is playing now?
Is it the XFL?
Yeah, he owns that now. He owns the XFL.
He owns XFL. Wow.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. He makes $1 billion or more. I mean, he's got more than $1 billion. He's sitting in money. He's doing well with it. But he's a smart man. He and his business partner, who is his ex-wife, is his business partner, and they get along really well. His daughter's now in NXT, which is one of the WWE franchises. She's horrible, by the way. She shouldn't even be there. If it weren't for Daddy, she wouldn't be there, I don't think. But anyway, he made an announcement that he's retiring. He said he's going to wrestle some big events next year, and he's going to wrap it up by the end of the year. So he's one of the guys that's smart enough to actually plan out his legacy. So he's going to go out on his own terms. That's the way to do it. And
not many people can do that.
Well, when he came into the business, he was hated. He was a good guy, and people hated him. They hated that he was this super face, and he was this rapper and all this stuff. I hated him. I didn't even want him. I thought, oh man, I can't stand this guy. And he was supposed to be a good guy, but he was too good. He was too good because nobody wanted his character. And he made it work, and he had a 20-year career just doing that stuff. So, you know, I respect the guy. I think he was just in a movie with Kevin Hart. It was called Die Harder 2.
Right, Die Harder.
And it's on Peacock. And he's a mountain man in that. It's so funny because he plays himself all the time. You know, it's the same attitude. But he plays that Peacemaker character. I love that character. I love the thing that he does with that. And it's, you know, I just think that it's really cool that he found a home. And his story is really good. His story is he didn't get along with his dad. He moved from Massachusetts to L.A. He actually went to school. He has a degree in I forget what it was, but something really good. And he was out in L.A. looking for a job in that business that he went to school for. And then he saw independent wrestling, and he fell in love with independent wrestling. And he said, I want to be a part of that. And he just was okay with doing independent wrestling. Well, then somebody discovered him, because he had a really good body back then. And it went from there to where he is now. He said he never, ever thought he'd be an actor. He never thought he'd be a wrestler. He just wanted to be successful in what he did. And, you know, he says his relationship with his dad is better. Don't forget about SPO Wrestling this weekend in Gloucester, New Jersey, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Okay, Mitch, I won't. I'll announce that right now. Mitch is a good friend of mine. Mitch and I go way back, and he's always been good to me. And actually, I worked for his promotion for, oh man, I don't know how many years. It was a long time. But yeah, I like Mitch is a good guy. And maybe I should go see his promotion. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I might do that. I wonder if he's in the same building I was in. Ugh, I hope it's not that building. Anyway, yeah, so I'm really happy for them. They did a really good event this weekend. Saturday they did a pay-per-view with John Cena, and then Sunday they did a pay-per-view with their other brand, the NXT brand, and that went good too. So it was pretty cool. I liked it. I still am addicted to that stupid stuff. I can't get away from it. Wrestling has been a big part of my life. So, what are you doing? You act like I don't feed you. And I do. I feed you. You know I do. What do you want? You want something? If I give you something, will you go away? I know you won't. But, yeah, I'm real happy for him. He's doing really well, and he's got the world where he wants it, you know. It's nice when you can afford to do what you love and not be forced to, you know, do what you have to do. Are you going to take it or not? There you go. All right. But yeah, he's in a situation where he's got he can do whatever he wants for as long as he wants because he's got all the money he needs, and now he does it for the love of what he's doing, you know, the art of what he's doing. So, and one of the things that I rewrote the script for my newest TV show this past week. I rewrote a lot of it because I'm getting it ready, getting closer to where I can actually film it. And I like the new script. It's a lot better. Every time I do it, it gets a little bit better. And as I envision it, as I'm reading it, and I see all the people that are involved in it, and I hear their voices because they were written specifically for these people, this is going to be a funny show. We're thinking of getting a place in the next couple months. I'd love to do it when I'm out in Vegas, but it's not going to happen. But getting a place where we can sit down and shoot the thing. Because I only need one location. I need a house with a living room. And that's it. Because the whole pilot takes place in one room. And it's going to be funny. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know where yet. I don't know when yet. But I know who. So that's half the battle.
That's half the battle.
All right. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else other than this. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I'm really happy that he's doing so well. All right. Now, did I post that? The Cena thing? Should have posted that while we were talking. I don't even know what I do anymore. Sometimes I think I do it. Oh, I did do it. Okay, good. Whew. Oh yeah. So what I was getting at was that at the pay-per-view he came out and thanked the fans for supporting him and giving him a good career, and he was just really. It was just very appreciative. You know, some people don't appreciate what they've gotten given to them, and some people are angry about the business, but he actually thanked everybody. He said, "Thank you so much for letting me play in the house that you built for so many years," and that's kind of a cool thing. To, you know, I want to go out like that, but I don't know. All right, so that's it for the entertainment stuff. Now let's get. Oh, yeah, that's done. Okay, so that's the. Make sure I got everything. Okay, now we're on the main show. All right. This day in history, 14th Amendment was ratified to the U.S., granting citizenship to African Americans in 1868. The first Wimbledon tournament was 1877. Actor Tom Hanks was born today. Andy Warhol's and iconic Campbell soup cans made its debut in 1962. And Courtney Love was born in 1964. Which one of those is the worst thing that's ever happened to our country? No, I was going to say that. I can't say that about Courtney Love because I actually like Courtney Love. I like her music, even though it's really not that great. It's really kind of cool. Yeah, I got that off the. What did I do here? Did I just delete? I hope I didn't. Let's delete. Just make sure I didn't delete something. Okay. What do we got here? All right. Okay. Here's. I don't know why that's so far down there. Let me move this up. Why don't we just do this? I don't have to move it up. I'll just do it. Paleontologists discover a potential new Triceratops-like dinosaur species. I better pull it up here so I can read it right. With bizarre horns discovered in the wild badlands of Montana. Did you know that?
Nope.
I didn't know that either, but I know that now. I didn't know, well, I guess I should have, because the world was apparently one time all ground, and I guess, and just, it wasn't always as watery as it is. It was all connected somehow. But yeah, this is, it says here, a new spectacular adorned dinosaur has been named from Montana, and it's part of a rapidly evolving story that demonstrates strong region-specific evolution in this group of giant herbivores. And so I guess this is what they are saying it looks like. I don't know. What was the, let's see, it says the ceratopsids are famous for the bony frill that projects backwards and upwards and from the rear of the skull, as well as from their nose and blows horns. And the Losoceratops looks like lacks a nose horn entirely, has a pair of asymmetrical spikes on the frill midline, and a pair of gigantic curved blade-like spikes on its frill edge. So I guess that's what he looks like. Oh man! Hey, what's your topic? I didn't want to.
Some of the platform issues of the Republican Party.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Well, first, Trump said drill, baby, drill.
Yes.
So he wants to open up every avenue of making us energy independent.
Yeah, and he doesn't like electric cars.
He does not like the Green New Deal.
Yeah, I know.
He wants to shut it down.
That's one reason I am against him. I feel it's important that we have to explore. I mean, all the other car companies are losing money hand over fist on electric cars because, you know, there's no, I don't know, they don't know what they're doing. There's not the experience that Tesla has, but they aren't, you know, they're backing away from it. So they're falling right into the Republican platform. You know, Chevy.
And where Biden wants to make it mandatory by 2035.
Right.
This is what is in California.
Right.
Everyone has to be driving an electric car.
And I'll tell you, that's the cheapest way to go too, because if gas is $6-7 a gallon out there, and electric is not. If you have an electric car, you plug it in, you're not going to pay anywhere near that. And that's, you know, it's the way of the future, unless they find, you know, if Toyota comes out with their hydrogen car or whatever it is that they were talking about or whatever, we need another way other than gas. There has to be another way.
I agree. Me, what I'd like to see is the mandate go away, but money go to these alternative energy companies to support them, fund them, grant money to them.
Right.
So they can work, because Tesla works, but none of the other ones work.
And it's because they don't have the technology. They're car companies. But even the ones that aren't are having problems. Rivian, we talked about the other week, the one that declared bankruptcy. I mean, they can't make an affordable electric car. Tesla's talking about coming out with a $25,000 car. You know, even if you look at the $40,000 car, the Model 3, $45,000 car, if you don't have the electric, if you don't have the gas that you have to pay, you're going to end up saving a lot of money. And I just heard the news about Tesla catching on fire. It was somewhere local. Did you hear about that? No, I did not. But all cars catch fire. I mean, all brands catch fire. Tesla's not the only car that's caught fire. The only problem with Tesla's catching fire, though, is that it can be a major issue because of the batteries. But there aren't that many Teslas that have caught fire. I mean, but because there are so many negative people about electric cars, they say, oh, well, that one catches fire. Well, so do Fords and Chevys and Toyotas and every other car out in the market. That's just not the only problem is that they're a little more difficult to stop the fire. But there is procedures that they've taught the fire companies to minimize the damage. And, cars are cars. I mean, gas catches fire too. And you can have an explosion with a gas car as you can have a fire with a Tesla or an electric car too. It's just, they're few and far between.
How expensive is it to replace a battery?
Oh, very, very expensive. The majority of you think about it. Think about this. If you had to replace your motor in your car, okay, if you had to replace a gas motor, you're going to spend a couple $1,000s. There aren't gas motors in these. There's very few parts. There's very few moving parts in an electric car. You have your motors that are attached to the tire or to the wheels, and you've got the electronics that run the car. That's it. You're driving a computer. So if the major thing that would go wrong with a car is going to be the batteries, but there are cars. I can tell you, there are Teslas that have 500,000 miles on them, and they haven't been around that long. But I just looked and I saw one the other day that somebody had for sale and had 300,000 miles on it, and it was only like a 2018. I was like, wow. I mean, there's very little to go wrong with the car. It's an electric motor. You don't have to change the oil. You don't have to change the liquids. You don't have to. It did tell me that I have to put more wiper fluid in. I got to put wiper fluid in my car. But I mean, there's very little to go wrong with it. If it comes out of the factory functioning, it's going to work forever. Well, it's going to work for a long time. So, and you don't have to worry about emissions. I don't know if you have emissions in Ohio or not, but oh, by the way,
we do not.
The next wrestling event is coming to Cleveland. Or no, where's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Cleveland.
Oh yeah, then that's where they're coming. That's where their next wrestling pay-per-view is. I think it's SummerSlam is out there. So, but anyway, I believe that this is the technology that we're going to build on. And the biggest problem with that is a lot of the cars that are out today do not have a big range. So, like all of the cars that by other manufacturers have been 250 miles, 250 miles, give or take. Mine gets 360. I've never gotten 360, but I've gotten 300. 310, 310. And for me, that's good because I have to, whenever I drive somewhere, I have to stop every 3 hours anyway because I'm an old man and I've got to go to the bathroom. So by the time I get out of the bathroom, I'm ready to go.
So how long does it take you to completely charge your battery?
Well, first off, you never completely charge a battery. The reason being it has regenerative charging on there. So you want to go, you want to have space for the charge to go. If I charged it to 100% and I stop, it's regenerating, and it has if there's no room there, it's going to burn the battery up. So you always got to, you want to go, the most I charge mine to is 95%. And that's only if I'm taking a real long journey. But in general, I charge to 80%. So that takes me where I need to go. Do you have to check your turn signal fluid? Yes, my turn signal fluid is low, and I have a problem turning my turn signals on when the turn signal fluid's low. And I didn't put my summer air in yet either. I'm still running on winter air, so got to worry about that stuff. But I think that if Trump gets in, we're gonna lose the momentum of the electric car, and I think that's an issue. That's a major issue for someone like me. And there's other things that we will lose if he gets in again. And it's a shame because I voted for him in the first term, and I thought that by the time of the end if he hadn't been attacked from the time he got into office to the time he got out, he would have achieved more. But now I'm just not so sure that he's the one, and so I don't know. What was the other things you said? Immigration.
Trump is in agreement with about 70% of the population.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I disagree with the thing. The thing I want is I want them to be here legally. I'm okay with immigration, but I'm not okay with illegal immigration. Because we have, when you get these people that come and take jobs away from Americans, I mean, I don't know. I think that there's definitely issues that have to be dealt with. I don't have a problem with someone immigrating to our country. I do have a problem with them immigrating illegally.
Trump wants to, or the Republican platform wants to do the policy of remain in Mexico and seek asylum.
Say that again?
From Mexico.
Say that again?
Trump had a policy of remain in Mexico.
Okay.
Don't come through the border. You have to remain in Mexico and apply for asylum from Mexico. Okay? Stopping the influx into the country.
Okay.
And we could control the rate of asylum seekers.
Okay. How do you feel?
I think it was a good plan. It worked.
Okay. I was going to say,
because right now we have so many people coming through our border.
Right.
That we're backed up, I think it's 5 to 7 years on asylum cases.
Yeah, it's like ask for forgiveness, not for permission.
Right.
And I guess there's there's exceptions for every rule. I think that there would be, to me, there would be some exceptions for that rule if there was immediate need for, like if you had to get out of there or you were going to be killed. That would be something I would say would, but yes, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with having them fill the stuff out before they do it. I don't really. We've had a problem with that for a long time. For as long as the country's been around, and I kind of feel that we maybe should look at that.
The Republican Party wants to put troops on the U.S. southern border. U.S. Army troops.
Well, and what are these troops doing? Why do we have troops versus?
Well, they want special forces to go into Mexico and fight the cartels.
Oh. Ooh, that's a whole other war there.
That's a whole other war.
I don't know if I'm really ready for that.
He wants a naval blockade on both sides of Central America to search especially Chinese ships coming in with the precursors to fentanyl.
Okay.
Because it's all coming from mainland China.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
I thought
the precursors, the stuff that you take to make fentanyl.
Huh. I would not have guessed that. Okay.
All right. And he wants to deport all the criminals that have come into the country.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that either. But if you start going with a special force unit into Mexico to take on the cartels, the Mexican government isn't going to like that very much.
Yeah. I don't know if we're I'd have to think that one through. I don't know how I feel about that. What are you thinking?
If Mexico would agree for help with U.S. Army troops fighting the cartels, if they would agree to it, I'd be in favor of it.
Okay.
But if we're going to do it without their agreement,
yeah, that would be an issue. I think doing it without
that would be an issue.
But yeah, I think I would agree with that. You know, the problem is if we go into another country and start another war of some sort, I want that country to be, you know, I don't want to get into another. I don't want to get into another Korea or another, not Korea. Yeah. Vietnam, yeah. I don't want to get in there where we're not wanted. I don't want to be in another situation where we're not wanted. I don't even want to be in another war.
That's why Mexico, I feel, Mexico would have to agree with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think you should run for president. Problem is,
I'd make a good president.
Yeah, but the problem is you make too much sense. You got to have some quirks. You have no quirks. Well, no, you have quirks too, but
I have quirks.
Okay, you would be a good president. I'm voting for you.
And I take medication, go to sleep, so if that call came in at 3 a.m, I don't know if I'd wake up to take it.
Yeah, well, if I'm your vice president, I could take care of it.
There you go. Well, and the other thing they want to do is build a wall, but here's what they're finding about building a wall. Texas is on its own building a wall.
Okay.
Texas decided it was going to build the wall itself.
Okay.
They can't get right-of-ways. Farmers don't want to give them right-of-ways. I don't understand why.
Huh.
But they're having trouble getting the right-of-way, and they can't use eminent domain. Do you know what eminent domain is?
Yeah.
Well, they can come in, where the government just come in and take your land.
Yeah.
For some reason, Texas can't do that. And so they have to buy the land.
Well, in
They're having a lot of trouble doing
in
that.
eminent domain, they usually bought it anyway. They usually made
Sure, but they buy it at whatever price they want to buy it.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. That's So far, your platform looks good. Actually, it makes more sense than your pride one that Biden's running on.
And they want to fight inflation.
Well, everybody wants to fight inflation. I mean,
right.
But didn't Trump do fairly well with that?
Gas was $1.79 when he left office.
Yeah. That's I don't know.
You could afford groceries.
Yeah. That's crazy. When I think about the amount of money that I'm paying for groceries now, and I don't pay anything for gas now. The gas is really free to me. Now, Christine does.
Mike, here's the problem. You and I'm on a fixed income, but you and I can afford to pay more for food.
Yes.
It hurts us.
Yes.
But we can afford it.
Yes.
People making minimum wage or making like $30,000 a year.
Right.
They can't afford it.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about it. You know, back when I was a kid, my dad made $30,000 a year, and $30,000 back then
was good
money. He just didn't spend it correctly, and well, my mom didn't spend it correctly probably, but you know, when I think about it, I was thinking, wow, $30,000 back in that day was really actually pretty good money. I should have been living in a nice house. I should have been living with water. I should have been living with a bathroom. You know, I couldn't wrap my head around it. You know, back in the day, I used to think, oh, well, he was only making $30,000 a year. But then I thought about it. I thought, $30,000 a year really wasn't that bad. I remember when I made my first year of $30,000, I was really happy about that. Wasn't back then, but you know, back then I was making my first job at D&H, or not at D&H, my first job at Hack at the college. That's where we met. I was getting $2.35 an hour, something like that.
Yeah, I started at $1.35 an hour. I was at a steel mill.
Oh wow, you at that? Jeez. And what year was that?
74.
Wow.
End of 73.
Was that considered good money?
Yeah.
Really? Jeez.
No, I progressed fast.
I hope so.
The union was real good. You know, the union every year, it was a fight every year.
Right.
It wasn't a contract like 4 or 5 years. It was a fight every year. But I don't know. I just don't know how people at the lower end of the economic scale. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they're making it. And people are maxing out their credit cards left and right because they're using them for everyday needs.
Right. Yep.
And that's not what a credit card's for.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. That's crazy.
So I get mad at the prices, but then I think, well, okay, so I can't go to the movies, or I shouldn't go to the movies because the prices are high.
Right.
I'm sacrificing movies.
Right. Yeah.
Other people are sacrificing food because they can't buy
Right.
enough.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Sirius XM today. I have been with them for quite a few years. I drive once a week usually. Okay, and I got one of my credit cards expired this month, and I decided I wasn't going to replace that card because it doesn't have cash back. It's just a credit card. It's got high interest, and I just figured, okay, now I'm going to find out everything that I've been using that card for that I don't remember, because it's all going to bounce. And one of the things was Sirius XM. Now, I had a special rate of $11 and some odd cents a month for their premium package. Every year I have to fight to get that back. Well, I got my bill, and when I was going through, I got an email from them saying, you know, your Sirius XM card stopped, and you know, we need you to take care of this, or you'll lose your service. And so I was getting ready to give them a new card, and I looked at my bill. In the last 8 months, it was $30 a month. I was furious. It went from 11 to 30. So I called them up and I said, I'm not happy about this. 8 months in a row, you've charged me $30 a month. And you know, I said, I was $11 a month. That's a big jump. She goes, well,
that's a big jump.
She goes, well, your special deal ended last, whatever the month was that it ended. I said, well, why didn't I know that it went up? There should have been something that told me that it was going up. And she said, well, we sent you something. I said, no, you didn't. I didn't get anything. You don't just jump a bill up like that. And I got that deal back, but I paid 8 months at the higher price, and I'm not happy about that. That's more than I paid a year.
Did they refund your money?
They would not refund it. I almost didn't get it. I said, do you realize I paid $30 a month for 1 day a week that I use my car? I said, that's awfully expensive. And that's way out of line. Now, the 11 is even a little high because I'm only using it 1 day a week. Really, I don't go anywhere for the most part. So, except when I take the long trips, then I do. But the next long trip I have is probably going to be in September when I go to Atlanta. You know, I just don't even see why they would. I just think it's ridiculous to charge $30 a month for a radio. My Cinemax is cheaper than that. That's $16 a month. So if it weren't for that I want Howard Stern, I wouldn't have it. That's the only, and I don't even listen to him anymore for the most part. I should have just canceled it. I still might. I'm still thinking I might do that because I don't use it enough to justify it. You know, I watch Cinemax more than I listen to Stern. And I only like Stern. I actually watched an interview with Biden that was done in March, and he was with Stern. Biden sounded like a real person. He sounded like a guy you'd want to meet. And it's not the Biden that was on that debate.
No, it wasn't.
It was really a shame. That was a long interview too. But Christine said that he lied about his first wife being hit by a drunk driver.
Yes, he did.
And I don't know why he would do that, but I guess to get points, I don't know. But that was sad that he did that. Because I was like, really? That seems kind of weird.
He also said that no U.S. military serviceman died on his watch.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. Why would you say that? Because he was when he pulled them out of where was it? It was
Afghanistan.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone was shocked that he did that. I was like,
and do you know that NATO begged him not to do that? NATO begged him not to do that. He did it anyhow.
Well, my sister does a thing where she sponsors soldiers, and when he did that, that was horrible. I mean,
see, as a veteran, I took personal offense to it.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't understand, and I just figured maybe I just don't understand why. Well, I don't understand why he did it. You know, I don't like our people going and being out there and sacrificing for other countries, but you just don't yank everybody out at once or think that you did that. I mean, that's just not right either.
So on this topic of Afghanistan, ISIS-K is an offshoot of ISIS, who we defeated in Iraq.
Right.
ISIS-K is in Afghanistan. The Taliban, who took over after we pulled out, doesn't like ISIS-K. So we now are going to join forces with the Taliban, who we fought for all those years.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Against ISIS-K. If we'd have left our troops in there and our military equipment, we would not have to do this.
That's crazy.
Now look, I'm not a Biden fan. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm like you. I don't really want to vote for either.
Right.
But there are just some things each one does that's really irritating.
That is correct. Yes. And you shouldn't have to vote on who's going to do the least damage. You should vote on who's going to do the best job.
Yes.
And I don't think we have that now. I don't think we have a choice of that.
The only thing that I'm in favor of Trump is he's going to fix the economy.
Yeah. And yet,
because he's very good. He's very good at that.
That's what happens when you put a businessman in there instead of a politician.
Right.
But the other problem with putting a businessman in there instead of a politician is that he doesn't know when to shut up.
He doesn't. Especially an egomaniac like him.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't know. It scares me.
Like we said earlier, he's playing to the wrong crowd.
Right.
I wouldn't play to my base. He's got his base. They're going to vote for him no matter what he does.
Oh, yeah.
He could be a convicted felon and go to jail, and they're still going to vote for him.
Yeah, they're going to vote for him even in more because of the loyalty factor, and saying,
yes,
we'll show them.
He's got to convince moderate Republicans and independents to vote for him. And with his mouth, I don't know if he can do it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We've got a weird situation going, and the other country's got to be looking at us saying, I don't know which one we want either. I think a lot of them are probably anti-Trump more than. I don't know though. I can't imagine. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, Europe doesn't like him.
What's that?
Europe doesn't like Trump.
Yeah. Well, I think China got fed up with him too, because I was working at D&H when Trump was in the first time, and the embargoes and stuff he was doing with China cost me a lot of money because all the products that were coming in from China were being taxed, and all the prices and everything were going up in that stuff. But he got his point across, and I don't know where we are as far as that goes now, but I know that they no longer just took advantage of us. They had to think about the things. So I don't know. It's weird thinking, weird thoughts about all that stuff. I don't know. So
let's go on to something else. It's
all right.
It's hurtful to talk about this all the time.
All right.
I don't know if your audience cares much.
Let's see here. All right, we'll go to. This was weird. I found this at the last second, and I thought, this is weird enough that I got to put it on here. There was a woman that fell. She was skydiving. It was in 2013. She was 20 years old, and she skydived 15,000 feet into a cow pasture with her parachute not opening. 11 years later, she survived to tell the story and carve a path for her life. So this person here, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't jump out of a freaking airplane on purpose for anything. Or maybe I'd do it the way Bugs Bunny does it. You wait till the last second, then just jump out. And
on the ground.
Yeah, there's no way I'd jump with just a parachute. Anyway, it says here, each step that Emma Carey takes is a size 6 miracle. She has no feeling in her legs, no sense of when her feet land or when they're in the air. That means her legs give her brain zero feedback. So she has to think about where her legs are going, but never feels where they are. Could you imagine, like, you got to look down to see if your legs are actually there, because you don't feel it.
That's terrible.
It says, yet she is a ballet and her legs are the ballerinas. She guides through the streets of Denver on a steaming Sunday last July, telling her remarkable life story. There's a little bit of a hitch in her gait where her legs are just a tad mechanical going up and down, but it's not even noticeable until she specifically says to watch for it. I definitely get slower the longer I go, but that's most people, isn't it? Most people have no idea that she's paralyzed from the waist down or that she survived the unthinkable. In June 2013, Carey went skydiving for the first time and probably the last time. And man, I can't even imagine, like, I would never do that ever. You could promise me.
I'm surprised she didn't die of a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, 14,000 feet. Jeez. But she went skydiving. She fell 14,000 feet out of a helicopter into an empty pasture in Switzerland with 2 tangled parachutes, and her instructor passed out on her back. So she didn't even fly by her. She didn't even parachute by herself. Her and her instructor went down. Somehow she lived. She's in Denver, staying with a friend. The night before, she camped out for the Taylor Swift concert, dancing and walking around the stadium parking, one miraculous step after another. She lifts the back of her shirt and spins around to show the scar going up her lower back. From here on up, it's normal, she said, waving her hand around the upper half. But from here down, it's different. Her story is incredible. She will tell it today, but she doesn't know how she feels about telling it anymore. She's told her story hundreds of times to students, corporation retreats, in a book, The Girl Who Fell from the Sky, to reporters, to friends, to strangers, you name it. People are inspired by it. I'll tell you what, that is inspirational to realize that you lived that. Man, 14,000.
I wonder if her instructor lived.
They didn't say, did they? Let me see here. It says her instructor passed out on her back. I have to think might be alive yet. Doesn't really say, does it? It's human nature to make a story about you into the story of you, and most of the time feels harmless. Think about how many times people whose identities are subsumed, going from Justin and Maria to Justin and Maria to mom and dad and to grandpa and grandma. Everybody has a friend whose marriage falls apart and then suddenly becomes divorced Dave. And but it says here, who wants to simplify down to one thing about themselves? This is especially problematic for people with trauma and disabilities. Most of us have said Heather is paralyzed or Mike is autistic without thinking twice, with no ill will, but there's a reason why those affected often prefer person-first language. Mike isn't autistic, he has autism. He has a dog, a job, a guitar, an on-again, off-again relationship. Nobody wants to say Mike is guitar. That's true, unless you're a guitar, unless you are a guitar. And if they do, they probably shouldn't. Oh, there's a picture of her with an image of, this is the image of her jumping out of the helicopter. Boy, that's one I wouldn't want to have to remind me what I did. For Emma, that means that she sits in a coffee shop on a day too hot to drink coffee. She doesn't want to be a skydiving survivor. She doesn't mind telling the story of it, but she wants to tell it her way, and then she'll tell you about her. And so Emma Carey is flying, and she's so happy. She's 14,000 feet above the earth, gripping the straps of her parachute pack like an excited kid on her way to her first day of school. And then she says, I'm going to become a skydiver, she thinks, not knowing just about the most terrifying thing that a human being can experience is about to happen. She's 20, just out of high school, an Australian kid traveling alone in Europe with her best friend, Gemma. And it was June 9th, 2023. And Emma had no plans for what she'd do when she returned home. It would oversimplify things to say her life was an open road, because there was no road, not yet anyway. Early in the morning, she climbed into the back of the helicopter alongside Gemma to ascend to 2.7 miles in the sky. 2.7 miles. Both were latched to an experienced skydiver for a tandem drive. The helicopter was so loud they couldn't speak to each other, and it was so cloudy they could hardly see outside the chopper. At some point, sensing Gemma's nervousness about the jump, Emma gave her what they call the face. It's the kind of look two long-time friends make when they share perfect sense to them, and maybe only to them. The face involves smushing the upper lip underneath its, who cares? Emma gave the face to Gemma, and Gemma gave it back, and they both had to smile. This was a good reflection of their friendship. Gemma, the meticulous organizer, and Emma, the free-spirited adrenaline junkie. If you had a party, Gemma would help plan it, and Emma would be the life of it. They met when they were 5 and have been a package deal ever since. Swimming, jazz dancing, blah, 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 blah. About 20 minutes into it, it was go time. Gemma looks at Emma and says, I love you, and then jumps out of her side of the helicopter with her instructor. 30 seconds later, Gemma jumps from the other side. Gemma closes her eyes during the duration of, I can't even imagine. Have you ever done that?
I was going to, and then a guy broke his leg, and I decided I didn't want to do it.
I know my cousin Riley used to be he was a paratrooper. He was a ranger, and he used to love that adrenaline and stuff. He used to love that, and I said, no way would you get me up there. She crosses her arms and her legs and nothing. She soars for half a minute, soaking in the first skydive, and about 30 seconds in, she feels a tap on her shoulder, the signal from her instructor to cross her arms and brace for the jolt of her chute going off. She crosses her arm and then nothing. She's not slowing down. She feels a tug on her hair. She tries to see what the instructor's doing. He's out cold, unconscious from the ropes attached to the chutes. She can see the chutes, giant chunks of red fabric flailing around. I'm scared just thinking about this. This is a really, that's too much. She realizes in the middle of the situation it's a nightmare, and the nightmare is just the feeling of falling, and then when most of us wakes up, this is real life. She thinks about dying, about what she could have done and said and have been. She eventually comes to grips with the fact that she's not slowing down, and she's not going to live when she lands in the cow pastures. Right before she hits the ground, she has two overwhelming thoughts. The first is she doesn't want to die. She doesn't want to give up the inevitability of her situation. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life, but she wants to have one. She will fight this, even though nobody beats gravity. The second one was that it breaks her heart that that Gemma will be the person who finds her body. When she hits the ground, she can't believe she's still conscious. Can you imagine hitting the ground that hard and being awake?
Wonder what she fell into.
Good question. She asks her legs to move, but no response. She tries over and over again, nothing. The equipment's so heavy, and her instruction is still out cold, strapped to her. She feels tremendous pain, the kind of pain that's so overwhelming you can't tell exactly where it's coming from. It's a signal from her body. It was a siren. As she lays there, she can only muster the strength to yell Gemma's name. Gemma can't hear her yet. Her trajectory is from the opposite side of the helicopter, takes her off in another direction. And it says, at a little over 5,000 feet, Gemma's instructor pulls a chute. It has if something went haywire, a rare occurrence, an emergency chute is supposed to automatically deploy at 5,000 feet. The landing theory is on what happened with Gemma's chutes is that her instructor forgot his altimeter to tell him their height, and somehow pulled the regular chute at exactly the second, exact second the emergency chute went off, causing them to tangle. When Gemma lands, she stands up and can just make out Emma on the ground about a half mile away. She desperately tries to disconnect her chute. It's a long run. Throughout the 5-minute sprint, Emma's on the ground moaning, yelling, Gemma, the instructor lying there motionless. I can't feel my legs. Help me get up. You're badly hurt, Gemma says. I think you should stay where you are until help arrives. Emma listens to her friend. Gemma stays beside her for an hour as they wait for the help. EMTs arrive and instantly diagnose Emma's injuries are so severe that she needs to be transported in an emergency helicopter. Here she goes back into a helicopter, the last place she probably wanted to be. First responders are preparing to separately transport the instructor. Gemma is told that there's only enough room in the chopper for the medical team and Emma, so there's no way she can go with her. Under the thunderous, let's see here, she fell from the sky. She lays her head back, pain medication's kicking in. I want to know whether the instructor lived. Doesn't sound.
It sounds like it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. They didn't say he died. And boy, I'll tell you what, that's a 2.5 mile fall. Is that what did they said? I think, right?
Yeah, 2.7.
Yeah, that's crazy. Emma's taking.
I would hope I'd have a heart attack on the way down.
Yeah, I probably would if the chute opened. I probably would. I don't know. I don't like heights that much, and but it says 8 hours of surgery. She makes a bunch of phone calls to Australia to tell the families what happened. Her friend did, and it says she leaves the hospital, finds something to eat, ice cream, blah blah blah. Emma has become more than a friend. She's a twin sister. Well, it doesn't say. I want to know if the it doesn't say anything about the instructor. But he probably was in just as bad shape if he lived, I would imagine. Man, just to lose your whole everything, you know.
Well, he landed on top of her.
Right.
So he had a better chance of living than she did.
Yeah. And he was passed out on the way down, so he was lifeless. And chances, like a drunk driver hitting somebody, he was already relaxed, so he wasn't tensed up. Man, I just can't even imagine that the fear that would go through you, your whole life right before your eyes, you know. Oh, okay. At some point, Emma found out that her skydiving instructor had not survived, had not only survived the transport, but he was in the same wing of the hospital, and he was being treated for horrific lower body injuries. Decided no matter how hard it was going to be, and it was going to be hard, she would forgive him. She occasionally felt mad at him, mad at parachutes, mad at skydiving and everything. She pushed back against those feelings. Yeah, see, I wouldn't trust another person with my life in that kind of height too. I would rather.
Because it was his fault.
Yeah.
He forgot his altimeter.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't know. All I know is that's. Ooh.
And she forgave him.
Yeah.
That just tells you what kind of person she really is.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? You can hate someone for their
some people would carry that resentment.
Yeah.
And that grudge.
At one point in my life, I probably would have not forgiven people for things. I've given up on letting that consume me. You know, the hatred or the dislike for, you know, I don't hate anybody. I just, you know, life is too short for that, and I don't have enough real estate in my head to want to have that in me. I just want to just live my life and be of some kind of help to other people, and I don't know.
The guys I work with, Mike,
yeah,
a lot of them have unforgiveness because they've been molested as kids, a lot of these guys. And what happens is it's a trigger for going back to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about forgiveness, and it's one of the hardest conversations there is.
I can understand that, and I believe that at one point, even though I didn't have drug issues, I had food issues. I think that's one of the reasons why I've lost a lot of weight. I couldn't forgive myself for a lot of things that I did. It took me, when Pam died, it took me a long time to forgive myself. I just couldn't. I just felt that I could have done different things and woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I hated myself, and I didn't realize I hated myself. I didn't realize it till it took me 8 years. 8 years of even though I thought I was happy, it took me a long time to realize I was holding on to some stuff that I needed to let it go.
See, so you use food. These guys use drugs and alcohol.
And mine was dangerous as big as I got at points, you know. And I was 468 pounds at one point. That's a big guy. And, you know, I lost a chunk of that in the early 2000s, but I still couldn't lose any more. I was stuck. at the about 315, 325, stuck at that. But once Ken died, I started reevaluating myself and reevaluating where I was and how I got there, and I really learned that I hung on to a lot of things of my past that I shouldn't have hung on to. And once I started letting them go, the weight started coming off. I didn't do anything to make the weight come off. It started coming off. And, you know, just appreciating where I am in life. And I didn't like the way I got there, but I accepted things. And the accepting part was a hard thing for me, because I really took on more than I probably should have as my part in things. But in the same sense, I also came to terms with a lot of things that I didn't want to accept or didn't want to believe. And that's the good stuff. I didn't want to believe the good stuff. You know, a lot of stuff I couldn't believe, that I wasn't that monster that I thought I was. And I may have done some bad things, but I'm not a bad person. And it took me a long time to understand that. So, I don't know. I try to help other people, and that's the best I can do. I feel that my life turned out pretty good overall. Could have been a lot worse. I'm just very thankful for everything I've got. And I realized that if Pam was looking down, she would say, okay, now you finally got it. You finally got it together. And I think I do. I think I've got it together. So a lot of things had to be taken away from me to open my eyes. When I lost Ken, that was I thought that was it. I thought there was nothing more for me to do on this earth. And some doors opened up for me. And doors I never would have seen, never would have imagined acting. I never in my wildest dreams thought that's where my focus would be. It's weird things happen, you know. And now I find it, I'm helping more people and doing more things, and I'm trying to be a better person there too. So. Why do you got dirt on your head? Trying to make me feel sorry for you. Where'd you put your head that you got cobwebs? You go under the porch or something. Oh, man. Anyway, so much for that. But yeah, I would hate to have gone through that. Stupid. That's her one time she skydived. The horrible thing that happened there. But yet, and she was 20. Jeez. Oh, I wonder now, she must have some kind of mechanical thing that's keeping her alive or keeping her able to move and stuff, right?
Well, they have exoskeletons now.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is, she got the good news. She would be able to go back to Australia and continue to recover there. It would cost north of $125,000 paid by her traveler's insurance that she bought last minute before the trip. She needed an ambulance to take her there. Let's see, she was transferred. I want to see if it talks about that. She's made a living the past few years telling her comeback story. Her first book was published in 2022. She designed and started selling a necklace that says, "If you can, you must," She's been doing public speaking skills and could probably tell her story for pay as long as she wants. In December 2023, she accomplished her longtime dreams of delivering a TED Talk. Her walking improve. Okay, so here we're let's see. It doesn't sound like she has it doesn't sound like she has that though. Her walking improvement has tapered off, and she's okay with that. In her book, she talked about she filed a personal injury claim against the skydiving company and eventually received a large settlement. But that was a brutal 6-year court battle, prolonged mostly by complex international law and constant delays. I would rather not get a settlement and be able to walk around and do things on my own than something like that.
Yes.
Oh man, that's just unbelievable. That's crazy stuff. Wow. She's in June 2023. Emma stood in the middle of the same Swiss field that she fell into. This time she was wearing a white dress. She raised her arms in triumph, and she held the hand of her best friend in joy, rather than desperately waiting for an emergency helicopter. That could be actually a movie, I think. I mean, talks about going and, how dramatic it was. And I picture laying there realizing I'm paralyzed, and I see a cow walking towards me and stepping on me. What a way to go. The girl got trod on by a cow. Yeah, if she made that long fall and gets paralyzed and then dies because a cow walks on her, that would be the worst. But that's a one of a kind story though. I couldn't even imagine what she went through. And
still goes through.
Yeah. Geez. Well, fortunately, she's alive to tell the story, so that's the good thing about it. I couldn't even fathom. I mean, you don't know until it happens to you if you could deal with it. But the first thing we would say is, I wouldn't want to deal with that, or but she did. She did well. I mean, how do you ever consider, I wouldn't even want to go on a plane after that. But, yeah, she perseveres. So, geez. Certainly puts anything I've ever done to shame. I cry when I stub my toe. That's a story I definitely want to put up there for people to see. It's a really good story. Let's see. What else you got? You got anything else there?
Foreign policy.
Okay.
The Republican Party wants to make sure our military is prepared to fight in Europe.
Okay.
And in Taiwan.
Okay.
Because China wants Taiwan back.
Oh. We don't need another war going on, man. Can you imagine? I don't know. I think we're watching the stupid wars that are going on out there. I'm really surprised we're probably doing things that we don't know about, but I'm surprised we're not at war with somebody. Everyone else is in war.
Well, it wouldn't shock me at all if we're not already in forgot the name of the country. In Europe.
You talk about the Russian war?
I'm drawing a complete.
Me too. I know what you're talking about because they just bombed them again with 38 missiles and they got 30 of them. Actually,
but they destroyed a orphanage.
Yeah, I should know because I think it's one of my stories. Where's it at? Maybe it's not in here. I thought I had it in here. Where is it? I thought I had that one in here. I don't know. Well, here's a funny story. How about a funny story? Pennsylvania, your friendly neighborhood Pennsylvania, they're picky about license plates. And people try to get their, get around the license plate thing. So they've rejected a bunch more, and they're going to change our license plate's going to be changed again at the end of this year. But anyway, here's some of the ones that they rejected. 8-ball, ATE ball. Boss bitch, BICH. Those are some of the ones that have been rejected. FU Biden. ELO 55A. Do you see that one?
No, I don't get that.
Read it backwards.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people get creative with them. Evil SOB. 8-ball, which I said. Lost AF. See, I don't have a problem with these. I don't know. I think that, they're just flash me. Daddy AF. There's boss. Blow me. Okay, that one I would have rejected that one. Uniboob. I don't understand that one, but those are the ones that have been rejected. Some of the ones that have been rejected. Oh man, I just think it's funny because I think we get oversensitive about that stuff. I mean, who really cares about Elosa? Oh, they got one over. They tricked us, I just think it's funny. Oh. My keyboard just knocked down my other keyboard. I had my keyboard sitting on the one I use for you. I had my keyboard sitting here unbalanced. It's been sitting there for weeks and now it's acting up. So now I gotta stop this. It's wanting to cast this to my TV. I don't need it to do that. There we go. All right, that was one. Oh, you know what the James Webb Space Telescope is, right?
Yes, I do.
They had found that there is a Jupiter-like exoplanet, roughly 64 light years away, with an atmosphere predominantly.
James Webb Space Telescope is not just looking at the stars; it's looking back.
So it's 64 light years away, an atmosphere predominantly made of hydrogen sulfide compound, and is responsible for the rotten egg odor. I don't know what that means, but apparently, I'm thinking that one is inhabitable, maybe.
No, not with hydrogen sulfide.
Oh, well then why do they care? Says here, an exoplanet located a mere 64 light years away with a reputation for its extreme weather conditions is now known for something else, a distinctive rotten egg odor. How would we know that?
Because you could take spectral analysis of the light reflecting off the...
Oh, okay. I wouldn't imagine.
And what the prism does is that you can get all the trace elements that are on the planet.
Okay. Well, I mean, 64 light
See,
years.
they have found thousands and thousands of exoplanets. They haven't found one yet with oxygen-based atmosphere.
Okay. Well, Well, at least none that is within a reasonable distance, right?
Well, yeah, they keep searching. The further away, the harder it is to see.
Yeah. I've been watching that thing on the Skinwalkers thing too, and they've been really finding some interesting things for that. I think what's going to happen is they're going to shoot too many rockets off, and the spacecraft up there is going to say, okay, we've had enough, and they're going to kill everybody. That's how it's going to end. It's going to end the series and probably the Earth, but, well, maybe they wouldn't kill the Earth because they still need it for transporting back and forth through their whatever it is. But, yeah, that's... I just wondered, because I'm seeing a lot more stuff on this James Webb Space thing, the telescope one, and learning a little bit of stuff about that. This was... what was it? Okay. There's a $1 trillion... this was cool. There's a $1 trillion food industry going on right now, and it's not immune to 3 million personal labor shortage. But they found a way around that, and what they're doing is it's leading to... NVIDIA is a big video card manufacturer, and they make technology, they make silicone chips and all that other stuff. They have invented I'm going to get this up here. This is you can invest in this, but I found this really interesting. Invest in the future of fast food automation. This is really cool. It does the fries all by itself. It it saves having people do it, and it takes them, puts them in the fryer, pulls the basket out, and flips the basket up, and so that they're all ready to be taken out and consumed. So McDonald's could have that with less employees, since they're having a hard time filling. It says AI robots. Says the fast food industry isn't immune to the 3 million person labor shortage, which makes Miso Robotics AI computer robots so impactful. With 2.5 million baskets of food fried for brands like White Castle, they're leading the charge in fast food automation. And I just think it's really cool that these automated, but that's more machines and moving parts, and I would imagine they're not going to be cheap. Let's see how much. Invested to date, $129 million has been invested on these things. So I just found it interesting because, that it's going to eventually. What? Why are you doing this? Go away. Go away for 4 minutes, okay? I'm not going to give you another one. It's amazing to me that someone hasn't done this. I guess people have done this before. I remember there used to be a Hardee's out in Paxton Street that had a system that, for the drive-through, you would order your meal and it would come across in a big basket and then it would come down to you. And I thought that was really cool. That was like 20 years ago that they did that. But I don't know that they continued to do that, but I thought that was cool back then. So even though this is a little more advanced than that, this actually is making the food rather than just delivering it. But I found that interesting. And then Boeing is pleading guilty to criminal fraud charges on the two 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019. So I found that interesting that they've actually pleaded guilty. It says here, Boeing planned guilty plea could impact its ability to secure government contracts. Boeing is to pay $243 million fined and then invest $455 million in safety and compliance. The family of crash victims opposed the plea deal. They called for a public trial. So that was as of, what's today? Is today the 9th? I think, yeah, yesterday. Says Boeing.
Well, the thing is, they pleaded guilty because they got the plea deal.
Yeah.
If they would have gone to trial, they knew it would have been 10 times worse.
Well, I can't imagine how much money Boeing has. They must have a lot of, if you're paying $243 million in a fine and investing $455 million in safety and compliance, it's almost $1 billion there. So I didn't realize that Boeing did that well.
Boeing has a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they are losing it on the MAX airplane, and they're losing it on Starliner.
Okay.
Because they are 5 years behind in Starliner. And they're having to, NASA already paid what they were going to pay, so they're having to pick up all the tab themselves. That's the problem.
It's funny because I don't think of Boeing anymore because the name, you just don't hear it anymore. Boeing used to be a transportation company, wasn't it, at one point?
Yeah, but it is. It still does airplanes. It still does space rockets. But when I listen to a lot of space flight news, they're in the news all the time. It just doesn't get out in the general public.
Oh, here we go. Boeing's Defense and Space Unit is vital to its business, with $7 billion in the first quarter sales, up 6% from a year ago. Now I don't feel so bad for them. $7 billion in their first quarter. Jeez.
They've got money. Mike.
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny because I don't even think of billion. It's funny. I worked for D&H for 30 years. When I first started there, my division did 200,000. Not very good. Okay. When I left there, they did $5 billion. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot. And now I would imagine, because they have a warehouse in Canada now, and they've got, they're doing they had a warehouse in Canada when I was there, but I'm sure they're doing more than that now. They're doing all kinds of, I could imagine, that's why they wanted to get rid of us. Why would they want to pay me that kind of money when they can pay somebody else that doesn't make anything? I just think that's crazy money. $5 billion when I left there. That's just crazy. All right. Well, I guess it's time to go. I'm trying to figure out where. That must be last week's show. I was trying to figure. Where's this week's show at? Did I lose something? Oh, I must have gotten out of it somehow. Huh. I think I left the chat room before the show was over or something. Wait a minute. That's really weird. What's going on here? That's this week's show. 7/9, yeah. Huh. Wow, there were lots of things going on. Oh, uniboob is when women wear those real tight sports bras that make them look like they got one breast. You're always one of the best people. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are nice to me. I appreciate that. I do need to talk to you at some point, Mitch. So, anyway, all right. I guess that's it. Time to call it quits. So, we will talk to you guys next week. Same back time, same back channel, and I'll talk to you next week.
See you, man.
Hey.